Hey, friends. Good morning. It's Saturday morning, and I am back in America. I was back in America last Saturday also, but pretty crazy. Jet lag, yada, yada. So I was not on live last Saturday. It just worked out that way, and I'm terribly sorry. So this is my fourth Saturday since I left. So I had 2 Saturdays in Portugal where I didn't do a live, and then I had the last Saturday when I came back. I came back Friday night, and I'm going to turn off this music because it's distracting me. But when I put it on this morning, I thought you might like to hear it. So I'm going to just pause for a moment and let you hear this. It's really beautiful, and then I'm going to tell you where this music came from. Okay. Can y'all hear that? Good morning, Diane. Can you hear the music in the background? Well, I hope y'all can. I'm going to tell you about it in just a minute, but I'm going to go turn that music off. Okay. So that was steel drums. And I have very rarely heard steel drums played in anything other than a Jamaican reggae style music. But the very last day, in fact, it was the very last afternoon, it was early evening, and we went to a castle, not too far from Lisbon. I can't remember now the name of this area, but there was a woman playing 2 steel drums under this archway of this castle village. And me too, Pebbles. Good morning, first of all. Second of all, I love the sound of the steel drums, but I thought her music was just so beautiful. I had to come home with one of her CDs, and I thought I'd just play it for a minute for you. So yeah, I came back Friday night, and I have to tell you, it was a funny experience. When I pulled, like, as we were flying in, I don't know, we were 5 minutes or so from JFK, and I'm looking at the land and Long Island and all of the islands, and I had tears in my eyes because I didn't want to be back home. And then when I got to JFK, I mean, I'm no longer a big fan of New York City, and I was like, I just kind of can't wait to go home. I just want to know that I'm back, I'm safe, blah, blah, blah. So I get to the airport in RDU. I drive, I get shuttled over to where I had my car parked for 2 weeks. And I get into my car after I hadn't been in my car for 2 weeks, and I'm driving home. Well, I did kind of forget where I was because I forgot that I was in Raleigh. So I was driving a little bit, not in the right places, but but I eventually got back on 40. I was doing okay, and I'm driving home, and I've got my reggae, Christian reggae music playing on my radio, and I'm thinking, what do I want to move to Portugal for? I love my car. I love my music. I don't hate my life here in America altogether, right? And I was just thinking, gosh, maybe I don't know what I want to do. But when I got home and I started showing pictures to my mom and my sister and telling them about my experience in Portugal, it all just came back to me. And so, I mean, I will be honest, I can see so many great reasons to move to Portugal. I would really love to have a home in Portugal where I don't live full time, but where I would live when I'm here, that's the tricky part. So I'm still working on that, but I'm taking one step at a time. I don't think God always allows us or even wants us necessarily to know all the details of what's to come. This morning in my prayer time, I just felt like the Lord was saying, stop thinking so small. So I'm just open. I'm open to see what God will do. Yes, He will provide the right path for me, Pebbles. I do agree with you there. So I'm just going to put that up there so people can see what you said. He will guide me to the right path. I know. And my prayer has been open the doors you want to have opened. And close the doors that I knock on, and they're not places you want me to go. So I am very open to whatever it is the Lord has. I do believe that Portugal and Africa are both parts of what God has for my future. And you can also say a prayer for us that God will provide a new home for my mom. My house will be on the market next week. So if anybody knows anyone who is looking for a lovely, spacious townhome in the Kernersville area, in the Triad, in the Piedmont, let me know because it's going on the market. And my realtor feels really good about the fact that there are still people looking to buy, and that my home is really, really cute. And there are people in lots of different places, especially up north, looking to downsize and come live down in this area near family. And she feels pretty confident that my house will sell within their average selling time, which is 27 days. So hopefully God's already got the buyer, and He will be bringing that buyer soon. And we'll be rolling and seeing what God does next. So that's my plan at this point. I have a new book that is coming out soon. It's actually a revision of a book that came out a year and a half ago, Mary, Dear Mary. And I'm really, really excited about my new publisher publishing this book and having it come out in the next month or two. We are already on cover design, and there's just a few more details to finish up. So that's pretty exciting. And I want to work on a new book. It's going to be a challenge because I have a lot of art pieces to do for a large commissioned a contract that I have now. Well, I shouldn't say contract. It's not physically a contract, but it's an agreement to do 12 rather large canvases. So I need to work on that while I'm selling the house. Interesting. And also, I will be packing in things to move. I'm still looking for a place for my mom, trying to discern where I'm supposed to go from here. But I think moving from my home, selling my home, is a really, really smart option for me right now. And I think it's just the beginning of some new things to come. So it's been 3 weeks since I've been on here. I do have some coffee, but I have been just so thirsty this morning. So excuse me for one moment, drinking some water. But I'm curious, what everybody's been doing. How is everybody doing? All of those who normally follow and watch my video on Saturday morning, I would love to know what you guys have been up to for the past 3 weeks. It seems a while since I've been in touch with anyone. So shoot me little messages up here. I will not put them on the screen unless there's something that could be encouraging to someone else. But I would love to hear what you're doing. So if you're watching on the replay later, send me a message. I want to hear how you are doing as well. So it's been a busy week. Most of this week, to be honest, has been looking for a new home for my mom. We have found a couple of places north of Raleigh. If I do move permanently to Portugal, my mom would like to live closer to my sister. Mom's lived with me for 6 years, and it would be nice for both of them if mom lived closer to her in the last years of her life. So that would be pretty cool. So, Pebbles said there hasn't been anything that interesting going on as interesting as what's been happening to me. So that's pretty funny. Um, yeah, it's been a pretty exciting 3 weeks for me. It really has. While I was in Portugal, the thing that was so fun, I mean, one of the things that was so fun, besides seeing so much of the countryside, um, was meeting so many people from South Africa, I think I met 2 people from South Africa. I met some people from Nigeria, as a couple other African countries. I met quite a few people from the States, all residing in the area where I'd be looking to move, which is super fun. And even some people that live in some areas a little further south from where I'm looking to move. Um, so I'm pretty excited about that. It was really, some people have said to me, well, gee, you're going to move to Portugal and live all alone. No, I will not be alone. If in 2 weeks I've made about 30 friends, I think that it would be pretty easy for me to make quite a few more if I were living there. So I actually have a friend that I met there who also just came back from the States, I think a week before I did. And he and I have kept in touch with each other because we're both making plans, different plans, and just seeing how God, evolves our journey in this. He's a young man. I kind of see him as like a little brother. He's adorable. I just love him. He has a really sweet, sweet heart. And he's really seeking what God has for his life at this point. And he really believes that there's a future for him in Portugal. So we've been talking about how are we going to learn the language. And he's a little better and a little further ahead in learning Portuguese than me. But he just found a great app that he has really, really enjoyed, that has a lot of video conversational European Portuguese. So he said it's been really, really helpful for him. So I'm looking forward to jumping on that this week and maybe practicing some Portuguese while I do some art. So very, very cool. Even while I was in Portugal, we went to church at an international church in Coimbra. And while I was there the first time, the worship leader, I got to meet him and chat with him for a minute. And he is from Nigeria. So, of course, that sparked a little interest in me. And I guess I should back up for a moment because I actually have been praying for several months now, Lord, when do I get to go back and do work again in Africa with the widows? The very day that Mike died, I remember saying, wow, Lord, so I guess I'll be back in widow ministry. And I have asked him numerous times, so how does that work? How's that going to work, Lord? Like, I got to take care of my mom. My mom has to live here. I'm kind of stuck where I am. I can't really travel a lot. So how's that supposed to look? And here we are making plans to sell my house and hopefully we're praying find a really super place for my mom that she can afford, and that will be a good fit for her, that she'll be happy, that she'll have a social life, which is something that she is missing and has been missing for quite a while living here. And so we're really praying that God opens the door for my mom to really be happy and cared for, and that I am relieved of that task in my life. So that's something, if you think of it, you can just lift a prayer for that, for both of us, that we both just have peace about a place. We're actually going to visit a place on Tuesday. It is north of where my sister lives. And it sounded like a really great fit for my mom. So we will see. It's not quite affordable. We would need to figure out how she could. Uh, we'd need to find another few $100s to keep her there, unless she takes a semi-private room, which my mom's a very private person, and I think a permanent uh, semi-private room will be very hard for my mom. But you know what? It's not impossible for God. We will just see what he does, and we are going to visit that place on Tuesday. So that will be pretty exciting. And I have another place that I'm hoping I can line up on Tuesday while we're in that area. So 2 possible options there. And then let me think. I was about to say something else, and then I said, let me just back up for a minute. Yes. So I was saying that I have been praying for, I don't know, maybe the past 6 months, like, okay, Lord, I want to serve Africa. I want to go back and do something. Like, I just feel like you have given me this passion to work with the widows in Africa in various countries, and I haven't quite put my finger on it. So I've been praying through all of that, and then when I'm in Portugal, I meet these a couple of these people that are from Nigeria that live there in that area. And the worship leader wanted to introduce me to a friend of his. This is a woman that has been a lifelong friend of his. And she is actually, I think she's in her early 30s. She has actually made the decision for her life not to pursue marriage, which is really, that has to be from the Lord, because in Africa, you are someone's daughter and then you are someone's wife. After that, you don't have an identity. So she is really paving the way. I think her decision for that is such an encouragement for the women that she works with, and she works with widows in the south of Nigeria. I'm really excited about her work, and she and I had a conversation on Thursday, Wednesday, I can't remember which day now. We chatted on a video call and probably talked at least an hour. I got to hear what what's compelled her to work with widows. She told me the story of her mom and that she was one of 8 children, and just what her life with her siblings was like growing up with a mom who was widowed at a pretty young age, and just seeing what happened to her and how it affected their family. And before I made this video chat with her, that very morning, actually, that we were supposed to talk, in my prayer time, I just felt like God made it clear that I need to write a book. I would like to compile a book of real stories of real widows from various countries in Africa, for the purpose of raising awareness and letting that be a start, because right now I really can't go very far, can't go very much. And so I also hope to be a catalyst to help ministries that I'm aware of that are helping widows in various countries glean the wisdom and success of other ministries in other countries. I feel like that is a really smart move for all of them. And I'm the one aware of various ministries going on. So I think it's very interesting how God seems to be kind of putting all these things together. One of the advantages for me in living in Portugal, it would not be my sole reason for being in Portugal, but it would absolutely make it so much easier for me to make frequent trips to various countries in Africa. And so that would be a great advantage to being in Portugal as well. So that's kind of in a nutshell, a little bit more information than maybe you've seen in little pieces in Facebook posts. But I thought this morning would be a great way to kind of just broaden that out a little bit, give you a little bit more definition as to what I'm thinking and why I'm thinking it, and what's motivating me um, to figure out where God wants me now, and if Portugal and African widows, are in my future, which I do believe they are, whether I move to Portugal or not. So that is my story. That's where I'm at. That is what has been happening in my life since I came back. 1 week. I came home 1 week last night, and in 1 week the things that have happened already are amazing. I definitely feel like God is on the move. He is answering my prayers, and He is about to reveal what the future holds. So I hope you find that exciting. And of course, I will be sharing more as more things become clear. I appreciate your prayers. I feel like it's also pretty much taken me the whole week to kind of catch up with sleep. And, I was sick for 2 days. I got a lot of sleep while I was sick, but even though I was able to eat and I wasn't having the same digestive problems when I came home, I still didn't feel like I was quite right. I really feel like I didn't really get back to normal until maybe Wednesday. So it's taken me a long time to kind of catch up and feel rested. But I am feeling rested, and I'm feeling really encouraged that God is moving, and that there's a lot of things that are really positive things that are happening, and that He is paving the way for the days ahead. So I hope you find that encouraging. I hope you all have a great weekend. I will do my best to keep you posted, and I will be back next Saturday, God willing, on Fireside Chat. I'll see you then. Bye, everyone.